Good morning. Welcome to the next video. Another Friday, another video. I'm glad you're here. I'm happy to be here as well. And yeah, I'm excited to make this 20th lesson video. It's very crazy. It's coming to an end. Oh, I started last summer and now it's almost over. It's also cool. I'm really proud of all the videos that I've made so far. And I've learned a lot about myself and the journey as well. So thanks for being part of it and for joining along. I'm grateful that you're here. Oh, sorry. So yeah, let's dive into this lesson. It's the 20th lesson. I feel a little bit insecure to talk about this because it feels very, very personal, and even more so than the other lessons because it's very specific to my gender. It says, my female body is not compatible with our current system. My female body is not compatible with our current system. And like right away the question I'm sure arises, like, what does this have to do with depression, and why did I learn this from depression? Like, it seems so specific and so nuanced. And it doesn't feel like it's very much related to depression. And I think the relation to depression is that by my body forcing me to slow down in that depression time, I was also reconnecting with my body and my biology, and how I was actually experiencing life through my body. And since I have a female body and a female hormonal system and a womb, just female organs, reproductive organs, I'm deeply affected by it, and it influences my life and my experience of life a lot. And yeah, I feel very strongly about this topic, and I have the feeling that this will be a big part of my life for a long time. And now, like, I feel like the depression was kind of revealed a lot of things to me, and like one of the biggest things is that my female body works different than male bodies, and that's something to be cautious of, and to be something that I'm living with, and that's really, really important to care for. And I feel passionate about it because I feel like a lot of women are kind of waking up to this realization, or a lot of people in general, that being a woman means something very different than being a man, or living in a female body and living in a male body, and that our experience of that really influences our lives. And I feel like that's what I understood through my journey of depression. What else? It's very interesting. I don't know if I talked about this in any other video. I don't remember now, but maybe I did. But I remember that in the beginning, I think in 2017, when it was really slowly starting to, like, I was beginning to become really, really tender and sensitive, and kind of becoming aware of that, of how and how things were coming up, and I was becoming more emotional, and a lot of insecurity came up, like the beginning stages of my depression. there was this big question in my head that was like there the whole time, and it was like asking me, what does it mean, or what does it mean for me to be a woman? And I think the reason I was asking myself this was because I was very confused about so many things, like what it meant to be a woman to me, like all those images of women, I don't know, being the way that they're portrayed in the media. Like I couldn't really, I think I said that in another video, I couldn't really relate or I see myself in that, but at the same time I had the desire to express what it meant for me to be a woman, and I didn't really know how. And then also I had kind of received this message that, like in my daily life, that there's not much of a difference between being a woman and being a man. Like, you go through the same education, you learn the same things, you are expected to show up in the same way, or a similar way, not exactly the same way, but in a similar way. And anything related to womanhood was not that big of a topic. Like the fact that women have a period every month, or go through those hormonal cycles, and so many other things were not really a big topic of interest in my environment. It was just something that was like going on the sidelines, but was not that important or big. And the answer that came to me, like the one big answer that I felt like what felt right for me for this question, like what it meant for me to be a woman, was to hold space. Like to kind of, for me it meant to be someone who holds space. And so I began to apply this to myself, like to hold space for myself for everything that was happening in here, which was really weird and new and scary, and also rewarding, because I was noticing how it was helping me. And this idea of holding space for myself really became so relevant over the course of the years, over the next years during my depression. And honestly, the main thing that helped me to move through all those emotional things and moments, situations and struggles. And okay, so why this lesson says my female body is not compatible with our current system is because that's exactly my experience. Like, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, I had a few jobs in my life, and of course, and I studied a few different studies, and I always felt like I was at the wrong place, kind of, or like I had to really adapt to a world that was not designed for an, I don't know, emotional and like cyclical being like me. And like the more I discovered over the last years about my body and my physiology and my cycle, the more this question came up, like how, like if I'm really living according to that, like going through the different seasons that I go through every month, like the period time being like the winter time, where I really need a lot of rest, and I'm very slowing down and really like deeply connected with my inner life. And then the time after that, like after the period's over, is like inner springtime, the time when like I'm excited, like the energy is coming again, and I'm excited to plan things. I kind of like spring, like the experience of spring and new life and fresh life is coming, and there's this excitement for what's going to come. And then the inner summer, like that's like the ovulation time, where the egg is released from the ovaries into the ovarian tube. When I feel really alive and really excited and wanting to connect, and really good in my body, and just really, I don't know, like a lot of life energy is in me, and I have a lot of energy in general, or more energy in general, and I'm excited to be social and like meet people and feel very confident in myself, and then the inner fall, like the time when like the body prepares for menstruation, and there's another hormone very prevalent than in the 2 seasons before that, and it's making me feel like more vulnerable and more wanting to be at home and doing my own thing and not connect so much with other people and be more in my own space, and become more aware of like conflicts that I haven't addressed yet, or things that are bothering me that I want to change. Like I'm becoming, like the veils are becoming thinner between my truth and my life. And so that's like very, very different ways of experiencing life throughout 1 month. And I mean, how do you harmonize this with a world where usually working means you're expected to show up pretty much the same way every day? And I mean, this is very generalized, because there are a lot of different kinds of jobs and a lot of different ways of working. Maybe it's just how I see working life, like from my experience. Like I worked in bakeries, like in kind of like customer service, like those things, or in an organic store where I was like refilling the shelves, very simple, or like working at the cashier, as a cashier there. So my experience of work life is very that you're expected to show up pretty much 100% every day and be capable of handling the same things that are expected of you every single day, which is just so not really compatible with what life or living life as a woman means to me now, like what I experience life as. And it's been kind of weird and difficult and kind of frustrating to realize this. And I've gone through, like, I would say I've gone through different stages, like stages where I felt like I just have no capacity to think about work life at all. Like when I was in the midst of my emotional stuff, I was like, there's no space to even think about this stuff right now. Then when it got a little bit better, I was thinking, okay, I'm better, but I'm barely making, like, barely able to keep kind of living a pretty much grounded life, daily life, like at home. So how could I work somewhere? And when I was working, then like in 2021, when I was already doing a little bit better, it was really challenging for me. The simplest job, like it was so challenging for me. But I would say mostly because I'm really highly sensitive, and so working in a store where there are all kinds of different people, there's a big team and a lot of stuff going on at the same time, a lot of noises, a lot of lights, just a lot of sensory things coming at me all at once. That was really challenging. And I struggled with my period then and didn't really know how to handle it, and sometimes called in sick when I was on my period, and I felt so guilty. And once I even tried to go there on my period and barely made it there and almost fainted, and then went to into the bathroom and sat on the floor of the bathroom and was so dizzy and felt so sick, and I was like, how am I gonna make it out of this bathroom? Let alone kind of figure out how to do this. And then eventually I got up and told my boss that I don't think I could make it through the day, and she sent me home, and it was fine. But I felt so guilty, and I felt I'm my period will be there every month, so how will I be able to live up to what's expected of me as a good working employee? I can't call in sick every month, which is pretty much what I did when I didn't, except for when I had my period on days when I wasn't working. Then I could use those days to rest and recover. But now that I talk about it, I think it also has a lot to do with my expectations of myself, always to be perfect and to fulfill every expectation and even go above and beyond the expectation. I'm reading a really cool book right now about kind of the calling of highly sensitive people. A friend recommended it to me, and I feel so seen and so mirrored in this book, and it's really helping me to it's putting words to my experience, and it's talking at the moment it's at the part where the author writes about the experience in work life, and I was like, yes, that's exactly how I felt. And how it's on us as highly sensitive people to really change our way of looking at how we work, and how we can really set our expectations to a level that's healthy, and not pressure ourselves so much in our work life, and with that make it much easier on ourselves. Oh my gosh. So maybe this lesson is technically not only focused, it's not only about being a woman, it's also about being who I am, which is very aware of my environment and feeling very touched by everything, even if it has nothing to do with me, and really focusing my energy on that and attention, and worrying about it, and just draining myself with a lot of things that don't really have anything to do with me, and taking responsibility for things that are not my responsibility at all. So maybe it's not only the female body. But still, a reason why this, I feel is a lesson that is so beyond this depression time. For me, I really feel like my calling is to really bring this knowing and remembering of what it means to be a woman in our world back to a lot of women, and create space like I did for myself, for others as well. And that's just the fact that in the system that we live in, and I'm speaking from how I feel, there's a lot of because I'm highly sensitive, I sense a lot of things, and I feel like I'm it's very easy for me to get a feeling for something right away, like, and I know exactly what's going on right away without needing a lot of factual information or a lot of data or statistics. Like, I feel like I get so much data and information already from just the vibe and the feeling, and like a lot of different things that I pick up. And so my sense of our system at the moment is that there's simply not, it's not designed to give space for humanness and for people. And I'm noticing that this is changing, and it is opening up more and more space for that, which I think is very beautiful and going into the right direction. And at the same time, it's a really, really big job, or it's a big unwinding of the whole system, because it's been originally designed for effectiveness and results, rational thinking and rational working, and not to give space for personal stories, humanness, emotions, just different situations that simply arise, and anything that is like seen as a disturbance or something that is not in the plan and a burden, kind of. That was my feeling. And I feel that those things are exactly, or make a lot of who I am. Like, I'm emotional and not linear, and very I have a very personal story, like everyone does, and personal needs and individual, needs, and I'm really dreaming of a world where we are learning to create work environments that honor and hold space for and makes everyone feel welcome as they are, and so that they can really live out there, or feel comfortable to just express or live out their talents in the way that feels right for them. I know this is a very idealistic view and way of dreaming about the world. But I've always had that very idealistic person. And I like that, because I think if we're not having big ideals or big visions and dreams, then how will we get anywhere, like where we desire to get to? So yeah. Anyway, so it's not a very hopeful lesson, and I don't know if I will change it. I don't think so, because I really needed to talk about this. I feel like it's not so easy to put this into words. And I'm wondering if... No, I'm sure I'm not alone with this. I'm sure a lot of women can relate to this, and maybe if you're a man and I have close female friends or partner, you can also see that in the females around you, that we're just living in... we are cyclical beings who that's our natural way of living, to live that way, and it's our intelligence and it's our strength. It's really powerful to live in a way that honors all seasons of life, like the fresh beginning of life, and then the full bloom, and then the kind of winding down, kind of closing back up again, and then the death, like the period where something dies. And we're like physical expressions of this cycle of life, which is so beautiful, and so there's so much wisdom and depth and that, and it's really it's a strength and it's a power. And I think in the system that we live in, it's seen as a weakness, because the system expects us to live on this 24-hour cycle and not on this bigger one, and doesn't see the absolute, like, so much intelligence in it. Like, I don't know if I've said this before, but I think because my body asks me every month to slow down and really unwind emotionally, because when you're like right before your period, or when I'm right before my period, and a lot of other women from what I know, is that a lot of, like, we feel more emotional and more tender, and often things come up that haven't been addressed the days or weeks before, and it's kind of our body feels so weak and vulnerable that it's more easy for those emotional things to come up, or that's my experience at least. And so our body kind of like pushes us every month to address those things and asks us to release them, and then to really feel them, and to learn from them and grow from them, and to express them maybe to the people that are around us, to get a better understanding of each other and grow closer in our relationships or whatever. So we're like really naturally through our biology already like have this predisposition of being closer to our inner lives, due to that. Of course, it's always a choice, and I'm sure as a woman we can like, you can also suppress this and not address any of it, but I think it's more difficult not to, because our body is like kind of forcing us or pushing us when we're living in the cycle to really feel those things. And that is how emotional intelligence grows, and how wisdom is fostered and lived experiences gained. And this is so powerful. And as a person with a male body, you don't have this naturally. Of course, all of us humans live in certain cycles in our lives, and I don't know, I'm sure you might have noticed that too, that there are just different seasons, even if it's just the seasons outside that we go through in our lives. But it's very specific to women that we are living those seasons inside our bodies every month as well, which makes us even closer to them, which is so cool and so powerful. And that knowledge or that awareness has not arrived in our system. I feel like it just hasn't. Women don't talk about it so much now, a little bit more, I guess. And it's kind of swept under the rug and kind of ignored, and we have learned to pretend that we are just the same as men. And I'm saying this because I really feel this, that women, like, we have tried for centuries to be, or centuries, I don't know centuries, but for a really long time, I felt like the weaker sex, and men were superior because they were stronger, like stronger in the sense that they are not living in those emotional cycles, and therefore can more easily stay centered, or like in their stability, like the earthly stability. I don't know how to explain it. I hope this is understandable. Yeah, it's easier for them because they live in those 24-hour cycles. Sorry, on those hormonal cycles that last 24 hours and then they repeat themselves. Yeah, and as women we've tried to adapt to that and fit into the system that was designed for male bodies. Or even, I'm guessing the system is honestly not even that healthy for male bodies either. It's just too much for everyone. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm guessing in this lesson I just wanted to express this and shed some light onto my thought and my reflection on this. And it's not that I'm just speaking from my experience and from my view, and of course you're allowed to have your own view on that. Of course, I mean, you have your own experiences and things that you know and learned and grew into. Yeah, I'm just guessing that, or for me it was just important to express this, and I'd really love, I feel like this is the gift that I received from this whole depression times, that I understood that fostering and honoring this side of me, like the deep wisdom, the emotional side, the soft side, the tender side, is really what bears a lot of beauty and something that our world really, really needs, and has given me a lot of understanding of myself and of others, and really kind of a desire to share this with others, and also to help others to foster that in themselves and learn how to navigate this inner world in a way for themselves that feels possible for them, makes it feel possible for them to navigate it, because there's so much fear of emotions and of our world and vulnerability. And I feel like because I've had the chance and the space to explore this side so much already, I feel much more comfortable with it now, and really want to find ways to support others in discovering that in themselves in a way that feels comfortable for them too. And for me, I think my vehicle for that will be something around women's work, and creating spaces for women to connect with themselves, because that's what I've been doing. Yeah, it's a scary thing, and at the same time it feels like it's really what I was made for. Yeah, it's really scary to say this, but it feels very true. All right. And that's the reason I brought this lesson here to my lessons from depression, because it's a big one that really matters a lot to me. Okay, is there anything else that I want to say? I'm just so grateful that you're here with me, and that this is happening. And I feel like over the course of all those videos, I've really discovered my voice, or deep, like I've gotten a better understanding of my voice and my expression, and how I like to express myself, and what my expression looks like. And has given me a lot of direction and a lot of confidence. And I feel like, especially women, sorry, but I really feel like a spokesperson for women now. Like, we really have learned to suppress our voices, just our natural expression, for so long. If I think only in my family, if I think about that, like the women in my lineage have really silenced themselves because it was safer. And so it was a really smart survival mechanism and a good thing for them to do. And I think by me taking up so much space here on YouTube, to let my voice be heard and to be seen, and to just express what I want to express without any limits and without anyone telling me how to express myself. This has been like so healing, and I feel like I've kind of stepped into this position of really being someone who frees their own voice, and therefore maybe gives other women also the encouragement to do that for themselves as well, because we live in a world now where, or at least where I live, I'm very lucky that I am allowed to express my voice, and it's safe for me to do that and to regain my strength in speaking my voice. And then that's what I want to do. Like when I have the chance to do so, that's what I want to do, and kind of live out what my ancestors were not allowed, or were not allowed to live out and had to suppress. And with that, maybe free them a little bit as well. Yay. Really excited about that. So that's one of the big gifts that I got from making these videos, to free my voice and to understand that it's okay that I express myself the way I express myself, that I need a lot of space and a lot of words, and just share my stories organically, and that they don't need to be super logically put together, but that it's okay to kind of weave them together like a big carpet. Okay, I think that's all I have to say for today. And yeah, if there's anything that comes up for you that you want to share, of course, as always, feel free. I'd be happy to hear from you. And other than that, I hope you have a really beautiful weekend. That you're taking good care of yourself, as always. Give yourself what you need as much as you can, and that you know that you are exactly where you need to be. You're good enough as you are. You're a beautiful soul, beautiful person, and you're welcome here, and so needed and so wonderful. Lots of blessings to you, and see you next Friday. Bye.